like I'm moving in, back in the doghouse again.
Republicans really thought they had a winning political issue in the attempted Christmas Day bombing. But their efforts to politicize the incident seem now to be blowing up in their faces. Or underpants. It's just not working out. Sorry.
Less than 1 hour. That's right. Less than 1 hour. In fact, just 50 minutes. That's the amount of time that the FBI spent questioning Abdul Muttalib, the foreign terrorist who tried to blow up a plane on Christmas Day. Once afforded the protection our Constitution guarantees American citizens, this foreign terrorist lawyered up and stopped talking.
Yeah, you know, that's just totally wrong. That was Republican Senator Susan Collins of Maine, top Republican on the Homeland Security Committee, delivering the Republican Party's weekly address on Saturday. And she's really, really factually wrong a lot just in that clip. For starters, the right to have a lawyer does not just apply to American citizens. It applies to anyone being tried in America. That's why we call it the American criminal justice system. Even immigrants get lawyers. Even illegal immigrants get lawyers if they're tried in America. Also, even if the alleged Christmas Day bomber were being held as an enemy combatant under the rules of war, like Senator Collins says he should be, he would still be entitled to a lawyer. Also, the would-be bomber apparently has been talking to authorities, even with his Miranda rights having been read to him. So, wrong, 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 and wrong again. Want to give it another shot, Senator Collins?
When the Obama administration decided to treat Abdul Muttalib as an ordinary criminal, it did so without the input of our nation's top intelligence officials. The Director of National Intelligence was not consulted. The Secretary of Defense was not consulted. The Secretary of Homeland Security was not consulted. The Director of the National Counterterrorism Center was not consulted. They would have explained the importance of gathering all possible intelligence about Yemen, where there is a serious threat from terrorists whose sights are trained on this nation.
I hate to hammer this home here, but wrong, 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 and wrong, wrong. Actually, NBC's Andrea Mitchell hosted Senator Collins on her show today, so we're just going to let Andrea take care of the fact check on this one.
What the White House would tell you, and what they've been briefing reporters on, and we know there was a briefing last night, is that, first of all, there was a national security meeting which involved all the principals. All of them signed off on the decision to proceed in a non-military way. Secondly, they say the Nigerian family would not have cooperated if this had not been done the way it was done. Thirdly, they point out, even ignoring all of the precedents under the Bush administration where they did proceed in the same exact fashion, the fact is that he would have been accorded an attorney because he was arrested in the United States. So even if they had proceeded under military procedures, he would have had a lawyer who would have been telling him, if not the Miranda rights, not to talk.
Well,
they don't have a point there.
You've asked me about 6 different questions in repeating the allegations that the White House has made. Look, the military detainee and trial system provides much more flexibility and would have allowed him to be questioned without a lawyer telling him what to reveal and what to conceal.
Wrong. Wrong. Andrea Mitchell just said that was wrong. Just ignoring all the evidence of your complete and total wrongness does not make you less wrong. But Senator Collins, for all of her astounding wrongness on this issue, is not the only Republican tripping and falling into the wrong in this political battle over the attempted Christmas Day bombing. Here, for example, is South Carolina's Lindsey Graham, along with Fox News' Greta Van Susteren. And the two of them, I will warn you in advance, here are just plain making things up.
Well, the interesting thing is my prior life as a criminal defense lawyer, so and so my look at this, either he got himself a deal right up front, a good deal, or he's got a lousy lawyer. And I understand his lawyer's good, so he must have gotten some deal.
I used to be a military lawyer, a defense lawyer. I used to be a defense lawyer in the civilian world. Yeah, I wouldn't let my guy talk until I knew it was to his benefit.
Wrong. White House Press Secretary Robert Gibbs responded to this particular reckless speculation in a statement today, saying in part, quote, Abdul Muttalib has not been offered anything. The Department of Justice will take his cooperation into consideration. In other words, there is no deal, but thanks for playing, Senator Graham. Then there's Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell.
The administration still appears more interested in managing its message than explaining to the American people and to lawmakers on both sides of the aisle why an al-Qaeda-trained terrorist fresh from Yemen and caught in the act of attempting to blow up an airliner was handed over to a lawyer after a 50-minute interview.
Wow! Amazing. Wrong again. As a matter of fact, just today, the Attorney General released a letter he wrote to Mitch McConnell explaining in painstaking detail the hows and whys of the administration's case against Mr. Abdul Muttalib. Here's an excerpt that specifically addresses Senator McConnell's wrongness. Quote, since the September 11th, 2001 attacks, the practice of the U.S. government, followed by prior and current administrations without a single exception, has been to arrest and detain under federal criminal law all terrorist suspects who are apprehended inside the U.S. The prior administration adopted policies expressly endorsing this approach. In keeping with this policy, the Bush administration used the criminal justice system to convict more than 300 individuals on terrorism-related charges. In other words, wrong. Senator McConnell, not only was the statement you made wrong, but the premise behind it was also wrong. Of course, Republicans making claims like this to try to score political points on the Abdul Muttalib case is nothing new. They have been doing that ever since Michigan Congressman Pete Hoekstra, the human sieve, sent out a fundraising letter 3 days after the attempted attack, trying to raise money off of the attempted murder of Americans. What is new is the administration finally releasing information about the case to rebut these now long-standing and utterly wrong political charges.
Looks like I'm